Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're looking at the Airshow Jet. So first of all, an apology for those who are expecting a video about the marina. I did start putting the table up and mocking up which base plates were going where, and I realised that if I did that next and fully integrated it with the rest of the city, then there'd be a whole portion of my ceiling that I wouldn't be able to access anymore because it's just too far away. So rather than have a blank bit of sky, I thought it better to do a quick diversion into some aircraft before going back and doing the marina. So this is the Airshow Jet, set 60177 from 2018. It's a very colourful jet, very good design I think, very simple but very effective. It has 87 pieces. It retailed for £8 or $10 in the US, and I just really like it because it reminds me of the Red Arrows jets. I mean, I know it's got a lot of blue on it, but the Red Arrows are a aircraft display team in the UK and are world famous, if you didn't know that, and they use Hawk jets to do their aerial displays, and this looks very much like a Hawk jet. So yeah, I really like this. Now, one of the things I wanted to achieve in my Lego room when it came to aircraft was having some planes in formation. And what better a set to use than this one? A, because it's the sort of plane that would fly in a formation, but B, it's quite small, and C, it's quite cheap. Now, I waited till these were on sale on Amazon, so instead of being £8, they were £6, and I bought 2 more. Fantastic! Now, before we get on to mounting these in the Lego room, I thought I'd look at a few amendments. People who've viewed my brick hauls will know that over a few orders recently, I've got these heads, which are all slightly different, but are clearly pilots. And the original thought was that I would use these 3 heads to replace the standard head that comes inside with these pilots. I do like these pilot minifigures. They've got really good air suits, and the heads, sunglasses with some eyebrows. I mean, he looks a pretty cool guy. Now, the more I thought about this, the more I decided that maybe I wouldn't do this, even though this does look better and is an improvement in my mind. The problem is you're just not going to be able to see them. Where I'm going to put them in formation, these jets, at the top of the Lego room, means I doubt anyone will be able to notice even if they were trying to look at it. And the other reason for not doing it is the second side of these heads are all really interesting. Got sort of a smug grin, sort of a frustrated, angry face, and a sort of another sort of wry grin there. And with different hair pieces covering obviously the back head print, I think these could make some really good scenes in the rest of my city. So, although it was a very good idea, and if it was something you could see, I think I would stick with it, I'm going to keep these heads and use them somewhere else. Get his hand on the flight stick, that's quite important. Now, the amendment I am going to make though is doing something to the back here. We've got this nice nozzle piece for the exhaust of the jet engine, but it's, well, quite simple. It looks like it's on the ground in a way. So what I thought I'd do is add a flame piece coming out the back. So it's a simple half Technic pin and a flame piece. It won't go in without the pin. And then we can just stick that in the back, and then it kind of looks like this thing's firing through the sky at a rate of knots with its afterburners on. So I like that a great deal. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the landing gear. because a plane like this would retract its landing gear when it was in the air, so you just wouldn't see it on. And I think when they're flying in formation, they'll look a lot more realistic when they're flying through the air like this. Right, so I'll do that amendment to the other two, and then we'll get going with the next stage, which is mounting them. Now, in order to mount these, I'm going to have to use some nylon wire or fishing wire, so I've just got a reel of that there. And I'm going to use that in conjunction with Command Strip's decorating clips. Now, because these planes are very small and very light, I really only need one of this size of clip, and all it is a little clear plastic hook. You can see from the side profile on kind of a back flat bit, and that'll stick to the ceiling like that. And it has these very sticky, very small sticky pads, and these are removable. One side's for sticking on the wall and one onto the pad. So you literally sandwich that between and stick it on the ceiling. And then you can hook the nylon line over the hook and hang them. And because I want them in different formations, I'll want to do slightly different lengths so they're all, you know, in the pattern that I want. So let's work out where and how to attach the nylon line to these planes to get them mounted. So if I get rid of two of them, what I'm going to do is use this thin nylon line trapped between bricks, and that will give enough grip for it to stay on the plane end of things, because, as I said before, they're not that heavy, these planes. And the other end, when I attach it to the ceiling, I'll tie a loop in the nylon line and that will go over the hook. But for now, I'm just working out, using a scrap piece, where I want to attach the line, because you kind of got to work out where the centre of gravity is, because, well, if you wanted them to be in a sort of a nosedive, because they're only attached at one point, you would have them attached by the nylon line somewhere near the back. If you wanted them to be climbing in the air, you would hold it somewhere near the front. But I want these to be level, but perhaps doing a turn like this. So I want to have the wire coming off somewhere to one side, but roughly in the centre. So just using my finger, I'm trying to see where it balances. And you can see it balances there, which is pretty much in line with these two grey pieces. So one easy place that I could connect this, right in the middle, along that axis of balance, is this windscreen piece. If I just loop it through there, that's a really simple connection, and then pop that piece back. Yeah, you can see that that's got good balance, but even with it right against one side, it's not doing the sort of banked turn that I want it to do. Now I wonder if I can pull this off and reattach it with the line right at one side. Yeah, that's doing a slight turn. Let me do it head on. It's doing a slight turn there, but I don't know if that's enough for when this is mounted on the wall. I want it to be more sort of like that angle rather than where it's hanging there. So I need to do a bit more than that. And have that hanging. Oh no, that's far too far. I mean, that's that's a plane that's not very well, isn't it? I mean, if I'm doing it at that angle, I may as well just stick it on the wall that way. No, so that's too much. So you see I've got it now. Ooh, coming out of there. That's fairly good. So my last attempt is getting it wedged right underneath these bracket pieces and coming up alongside. So it's coming out of that join between the grey brick, the blue brick and the red brick. And I think that might be it, because it's roughly flat front to back, but it's got a nice tilt left to right like he's doing a turn. So I think if I get all three planes banking at the same angle, then all I've got to do when I hang them on the three clips is make sure that they are appropriately lengthed, so they're all in formation, sort of turning as one. Right, let's get them done, and then let's go up to the Lego room and get these mounted. Okay, here we are in the Lego room with the airshow jets in formation. Now, this wasn't as easy as it first seemed, because suspending these things on their own independent centres of gravity is one thing, but with the fact that they're only connected in one location each, this just means that they're free to independently spin, as shown by this seaplane. So although their centre of gravities might have been in formation, they were very susceptible to facing their own unique direction and therefore not being in formation whatsoever. Luckily, I was able to fix this using some bar pieces. You can see I've got one in grey here, so it's easy to see, but the ones I've used are the trans clear ones, and these allow me to actually connect the planes together. I usually use these pieces to have somebody flying or something flying, and here's one in use holding a ghost, for example. And they're very good because, obviously, being clear, they're less noticeable. So if we go close up, we'll be able to see those bar pieces in action, just holding the fronts of each of the planes together. Now, the other thing is that each of those planes was on a different length of the fishing line, 40 centimetres, 50 centimetres and 60 centimetres, less a knot at the top. And that just enabled them to all be angled at the same level but stay in that one uniform plane, so they're all side by side despite doing a banked turn. And here they are close up. So you can see the bar piece quite clearly from this angle, holding the left plane of the middle front jet to the underside of the jet on the left, on our right. And those afterburner flames we can see very clearly as well. And the pilot on the left is giving us a wave. I'm really happy with how these came out. I'm also really glad I didn't change the heads over to jet pilot heads, because I'm going to be able to use those much more usefully elsewhere, and you really can't see their faces from a distance. Now it looks like these jets are moving away from the alien mothership in the corner, and maybe they are, having just seen it. I just think this looks miles better than I could have expected. It's one of those things where you plan for the outcome to happen, but when it does, you're just shocked by your own success, really. Not wanting to blow my own trumpet, but I think that looks absolutely amazing. It's rare you see Lego planes in formation, but it just looks fantastic. So it's very hard to show you this against the backdrop of the city, since they're so high in the air and above the city. But as I said before, these needed to be done now, because there's no way on earth I could have reached this portion of ceiling, and it's needed quite a bit of sort of fettling to get these in formation so well. So it was a worthwhile interlude. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Your view is appreciated. Do remember to like and comment below, and do also remember to subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we will, as planned, be going on to the marina area. See you then!